In the previous video, I created this emblem for the Star Wars barrel, and I'm going to continue now and model the barrel. And so I'm going to bring in a UV sphere, and I'm going to go for 24 vertices. And I figured that out because when I subdivide, I'm going to get 48, and I'll be using that later. So I'm going to chop off the bottom of this and take this and just slide it up a little bit. Add a mirror in the Z and turn on clipping. Select this edge and extrude down. We can go ahead and let them hit. So that's fine like that. All right, back into solid view. One for vertex selection. I'm going to select that one. Control plus, and let's see, maybe one more. Control plus, get rid of those. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, two for edge selection. Select that edge and E to extrude. Pull it up just a little bit, then E and S and pull it in a little bit. I'll have a lid over that. Okay, let's bevel now. Shift Alt and click that edge and Control B. I'm going to pull. There's two edges. I'm going to go for 3. Shift Alt and click there and do the same thing. So we have that on the top and the bottom. We can shade smooth and see what's going on. And good. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is let's do the following. Let's apply that mirror. Come in here and Shift Alt and click that edge right there. It's right in the middle. Control B and pull. Roll back so you have two edges, one going up and down. Pull that so it's about that distance away from this piece here. And we're going to use that. We're going to Shift D to duplicate it. P to break it out. Select that, and I'm going to press Alt S and just scale it out on its normals like that. Now it may have some faces that are flipped. No, it's looking good, so let's do that. E, Alt S, and pull in till it makes contact. X faces, get rid of those faces. So let's bevel that. Shift Alt to click this edge and this edge. Zoom in and Control B with 3. That's 2, 3. Just like that. Let's double check that. That might be flipped. Yeah, it is. So Alt N, recalculate outside. So far, so good. Okay, the next thing we need is this edge here. We're going to create a little other circle that goes around. Shift D and S to scale. Pull it out. It's going to be wider than this, but we'll think about that in a bit. P to break it out. Take that piece there. Go into edit mode. E to extrude and pull it up a little bit. Like that, something like that. And we can, let's double check that thing. Yeah, see? So Alt N, recalculate outside. And now we can E and Alt S and pull till it makes contact, and then X faces just like before. Shift Alt and click that edge, and we'll bevel it. But I'll probably put a subdivision. So 3, shade smooth, and if you want it a bit smoother, just a subdivision on there. Double check that. Yeah. Okay. Alt N, recalculate outside. And that piece, I may take this and scale it a bit in the Z so that I can take this and move it down just a little bit. Just so I have a little bit more room there. What I'm going to do is take that piece and mirror it down to the bottom in the Z. So we have that. We'll deal with the emblem in a second. Let's come up to the top. Just going to grab a circle, Shift Alt to click a circle. I wanted a wider diameter than this. Of course, I could just scale it, and I probably will have to scale it. P to break it out. So we're going to take that to make the lid. So look from the front, 1 for vertex selection, just a little easier to see. E to extrude, pull up to make a little lip like that. E and S come in a little ways. And E come up, maybe about twice the distance of that or so. E and S come in like about that. E come down about halfway down. E and S, and scale it right in so you have a small spot in the middle. And then E and come up. And you don't have to come up to this level. It can be a little lower. F to make a face. 3 for face selection. And some of my faces may be flipped, as you can see there. So I'm going to just recalculate outside and then select that face. And I can start my beveling. Okay, 3 there in edge selection. Shift Alt to click. We're going to need some edges there. Shift Alt to click there on the inside. that. And then we'll do these two top ones. And then we're going to do this edge in here. And then we're going to do this one. And then this just ends, so we're going to swoop it under E and S. Just pull it under a little bit. We'll never see that, but we need that so we can bevel there. Okay, so far so good. I feel like it's a little bit short, so I'm going to scale it in the Z just a little bit. And that's going to end up getting pulled down there. Now, I'm going to shade smooth, but I will probably want to do a subdivision. And in which case, I think I'm going to go ahead and apply it and then come back in here and clean it up. 2 for edge selection, select there and there and there. We don't need that. X, dissolve edges. And just go around and do this. I'm keeping the 3, but I'm getting rid of all the other stuff. This just helps make it smoother by adding the subdivision, and then you clean it up and you don't have too much geometry, but you have it's the segments going around like that. And I can slash key to look on the undersides, get rid of that one and that one. And we're really reducing the number of polys, because we don't need so many. Now let's see if I can get in here. Those ones, dissolve them. It's not really important for a static image, but I don't know. I want to do it anyhow. And this I don't really like, so I'm just going to delete those vertices and just cap it like that. I don't mind that. So did I do what I needed to do? Pretty much. I think pretty much anyhow. All right. So we got that so far. And the next thing I'm going to do is I want to do some stuff going around here. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to use this circle. Select that face and Shift D and push it out along the Y. Look from the side and I'm going to scale it down and I'm going to extrude down. Get rid of that bottom face and then select that and Control L. And I'm going to bring it in here and I'm going to push it down here. And I think I'm going to want it taller than that. So I'm going to, in wireframe, box select, whoops, just that piece. So I guess we got to select it and break it out. So we can just use that. So go into that and I'm going to bring it up here. A little higher. Let me just see what I'm doing. Kind of about 3/4 of the way. All right, with that face selected, I'm going to bevel. Do a nice big thing. I'll throw in one more. It's a lot of polys really for this piece, but whatever. So I got rid of some and I kept some. All right, in wireframe, in 1, I'm going to box select and try to get rid of, get rid of half of that. That's good, like that. And then just push that in. And maybe I'll pull it out a bit. We do need to close this top here. I have to make a face just like that, basically. Just make sure it goes in. Yeah, it does. I still kind of want it a little bit taller. Maybe I'm nuts, but all right, at any rate. Okay, make sure the 3D cursor's in the middle, so select all that, Shift S, cursor to selected, and select that little guy and go into edit mode, and then switch over to 3D cursor. My 3D cursor's right there. So I can scroll down to this thing here for spin, make sure I'm in the Z, and I can just pull that and it'll go around, and then I'm going to set the steps at 18, so I get 18 of those guys, use duplicates, and change the angle to 360, so you can see that. But we're going to have to select it in M, merge by distance. We'll get rid of a bunch of vertices. So that's like that. And I can now take these and that and I can join them together because I applied that subdivision. So the next thing we're going to do are some bars coming down here. And the way I thought we would do that is take the body here and Shift D to duplicate, pull it out, go back to median point by the way. And this one doesn't have enough geometry, so I'm going to Control 1 to add a subdivision and apply it. And it's right beside, so I can kind of compare. I'm going to go in. And what I want is, I think I'll go from about there. Shift Alt and click. I want that row, which will be about that height. And I'm going to select this face and hold down to about this one so I can see that it's kind of would be embedded into there. So I believe that's 5. I'm going to leave 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to select there, hold Control, and go down to there. leave 5 spaces, select that one. I'm holding Shift, Control, down to there. Leave 5 spaces, that one, down 5 with Control. So 5, that one, down 5. Come 5 out here, this one, and down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's right. Yes, I think so. And down to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one and down to there. And I should have 5 there. Okay, that works. So do I have all the right number? Did this one go down far enough? Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Shift D to duplicate, P to break it out. So I have this piece. This I don't need anymore. This is what I wanted right there. Let's have a look at it. Okay, it looks good. So let's just go into edit mode. And by the way, I'll change that. E and Alt-S and pull. Pull it in like that a ways. Let go, and then X faces. Get rid of the faces we don't need. Now you can take this and recalculate outside. I'll fix that in a minute. Let's come back to this one, turn that off. 2 for edge selection, and Shift Alt and click this edge. I just want to straighten it out like that. Even a little bit higher is okay. All right, we still want to get rid of these bottom faces, so go into wireframe, border, select the bottom, X faces, they're gone. So we're getting rid of stuff we don't need. Okay, if I take this and I add a bevel, and I bring that up to 2 and 0.01, that sort of cleans that up. And to fix that, I'm going to come over here to geometry, miter outer, switch to arc, a little bit smoother. So let's start with that. And to get it to fit on here, I've got my 3D cursor right there, so I can take this object and go set origin to the 3D cursor and set geometry to origin, and it's close, and I just got to sort of pull it down. And I'm going to want it to stick into this, so I'm going to come in and I'm just going to scale and just scale it out till I like the position. I might do, let's see how far I got to there. All right, didn't go quite up to the top. I could, if I wanted to, I could take this stuff and bring it up. Let's see if I like that better. I think I might, and so I might take this and just scale it a bit in. And yeah, so there's a tiny bit of a lip under there. We got that. I might take this and scale it in the Z, make it a little bit bigger. So we got that. Let's just have a look here. So let's come into the lid, Alt-N, recalculate outside. Good. And we'll take this, and actually let's use this as our center point. Selected, Shift-S, cursor selected. Take this and set the origin to the 3D cursor, and let's mirror that down in the Z. Good. So far so good. Let's take this and bring it up just above the X there, and let's bring back the emblem. Let's scale it down and position it roughly where I want it. And I may rotate it a bit so this piece is a little bit more facing upwards, something like that. And I'm going to bring it in closer and just kind of get it even in there. Okay, so the way we're going to get this to adhere to this has got a good amount of division to it. A good amount of geometry. Select that back edge, Shift-S, bring the 3D cursor right to that back edge. And then I'm going to bring in a lattice. I'm going to scale this. Actually, I'm going to look from the front. I'm just going to scale it so it's just outside the border of that. And that's good. Come over to the lattice properties, and I'm going to make that 1. And I just want to make sure that it's just, look from the side, just into my object. Okay, so that one's 1. I'm going to make this one 6 for more subdivisions, and 6. And I'm going to take this and then Shift and hold that, and I'm going to parent them by pressing Control P and lattice deform. So this will now follow the lattice. I'll select the lattice now. And in the modifiers, I'm going to choose shrink wrap, and my target is going to be this. And you can see that it's pulled that in. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and apply that and come here. And I'm going to bring the lattice up to the, actually before I do that, actually, I'm going to apply my bevel, and I'm going to just bring that up and apply the lattice. And I can now get rid of the lattice and take this, and I might need to scale in the X a little bit just to regain a little bit of its shape. But I've got that on there. Hopefully it looks okay. And let's just double check this. Everybody's good. So if I wanted to, I can join stuff together. Control J. I could take this and I could, let's actually apply the subdivision and come in here and do that same cleanup where we get rid of stuff we don't need. I don't need those. I'm leaving myself 3 at the edge. And there might be another one underneath, but I don't know. But that was mirrored, so that's good that I did that on there. And take that, I can join that. And this stuff is mirrored. I can join that, and I could apply the bevel, join that, and this one I could join too, and I could even join this one. And I may need to put on everything a weighted normal and normal's auto smooth. I think I will. And then I'll come in and I'll select it all and I'll just merge by distance. I got rid of some, and it's okay. How many tries? It's 14,000 tries. This one's not low or anything, but you know, it's pretty smooth. Okay, so that's good, right? And I think all I would do here is just, you know, throw on a matte cap and enjoy it. I've got it in the collection. It's just one thing right now, so I can Shift C to bring my 3D cursor back to the bottom. Shift A, collection instance, collection, to bring in another one without changing my number of polys. I can rotate that in the Z a little bit if you want to just have one in a different orientation. Maybe I'll duplicate that, bring it over here, rotate X90 to lay one down, and let's move it here, rotate that in the Z a little bit, just to make a little scene of stuff. All right, that's how it's looking. Okay, we can switch this to both, maybe turn that down, maybe turn this up. Let's see what we got. That looks good to me. And that's really it. At this point, you can decide to texture it any way that you like, but we have created the Star Wars barrel. And that's it for this small series. We'll probably go on and do a little bit more Star Wars stuff. Thanks for watching.